Thank you, Minister O'Neill. And I'd like to acknowledge that we are today meeting on the lands of the Ngunnawal Ngambri people who for more than 1,000 generations have met here. And it is a privilege to be able to meet here today and discuss such weighty issues. So 29 years ago, me as an American and my wife as an Australian graduated with PhDs from Harvard. And our goal in life was to find a place where we could live, happily raise a family, presumably living in the same place, and pursue our respective careers of astronomy and economics. In the end, it was the ability to get a high-quality job and being able to reliably get living and working rights for both of us that made the decision for us to move to Australia. It was our choice over the United States, Canada, the UK, and Europe, because it was the best place for us. As Vice-Chancellor of the Australian National University, ANU, I need to recruit the best and brightest from around the world. The low-friction environment I experienced is sadly no longer experienced by most of our incoming staff. For example, a few months ago, the average wait time for us to get a staff member a visa after we have offered them a job for example, India, was 21 months. And that was typically for a 3-year job. Mine took 4 days. Needless to say, we lost most of those staff to places overseas. The people we lost were skilled in areas of national importance, in quantum physics, in cyber, in security studies, in biomedical, computer science, just to name a few. It makes a huge difference if you want to attract top talent. These people have global options. So I want to now come to our panel, and we're going to go through them and one in time just to get a sense from their perspective. We're going to start with our own homegrown Scott Farquhar, who, with Mike Cannon-Brookes, created the Australian-based Atlassian, a collaboration software company that is now the 5th largest market cap in Australia. He's also, interestingly, co-founder of Skip Capital that backed Canva, the other huge Australian software success. So Scott, how does Atlassian rely on skilled migrants and immigration to do this amazing business you've created?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I think it's interesting in terms of the skilled migration. It seems very different from a lot of the issues we have with exploitation and regional workers and people working in horticulture. And I think it requires a little bit of a reset about our psyche as a nation, because it's no longer a zero-sum game in Australia. If you think about, it used to be that Foxtel was competing with free-to-air TV and they were competing with Optus television, and it was very much a zero-sum game. Today, they're competing with Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, and this is happening in every single industry that Australia used to have a very nice oligopoly market conditions in. And I think we've got to separate our visa system and how we think about talent into areas that are domestic and are a zero-sum game, and that might be nurses and hairdressers and other areas where it really is a domestic market, and areas of high technology which allow us to overcome the tyranny of distance that's plagued Australia since the Federation and well before. And in those high-skilled jobs and those high-skilled areas, we really are playing on a global stage. And when we say we have a skills shortage, if you have a skills shortage of nurses, that's one thing. If I have a skills shortage of technology people, those jobs go overseas. Those careers, those industries that export dollars just migrate to somewhere else around the world. And so for us, the choice is, do we put those technology jobs in Australia, or do we put those technology jobs in another location somewhere around the world? And we still have a great opportunity in Australia to migrate the best and brightest from around the world who still want to come here and build amazing export businesses, and those dollars come back to enrich Australia. Over the next 12 months, we're going to hire about 1,032 Australians into R&D jobs. We hope to hire them all around Australia because we allow people to work from anywhere, so that's regional areas from, and as well as capital cities. But again, if we can't find those jobs here, they will go overseas to other locations. And when we think about our visa system, it should reflect that. We should be falling over ourselves to bring the best and brightest over from overseas to come build our export markets here.
Thank you, Scott, and I think you make a really important point about the change of how the market has evolved for skilled workers being able to go anywhere, yet we still have the domestic things, and they really are two sides of a coin. Next up, we have Meeta Radhakrishnan, who is a co-founder of a young SME here, Different Technologies, that works to bring tech to property management. She came, and very exemplary of people like herself, came to Australia via the US, Canada, and Zambia. So, Meeta, as an SME, what gaps do you see which immigration can help based, I guess, on your experience of a bunch of different systems overseas?
Yeah, I think as the co-founder of a tech startup, I have similar needs as Scott, but a very different impact when that comes. So when Scott can't find a software engineer, he'll hire a software engineer in the US. When I can't find a software engineer, my business is going to fail because I need to bring that person on board. And so I think the really important part of it when I think about skilled migration and why it matters so much for us is just the ability for us to bring together skilled migration and also job creation in Australia. They're very complementary. In one of the sessions earlier today, a constant theme that came up was around learning, training, teaching, support, and that is incredibly important. And I guess the question I really want to ask here, and I think the answer will be obvious to everyone, is does the need for training, teaching, and support go away when you leave school and go into a professional career? It doesn't. We all know that. Who provides that? That's managers. I think there's a very common saying that people don't leave jobs, they leave managers, right? And that is so true because it is the support and the people who are around you who help enable you to get to that next level of your career. And as much as we need, our goal with the TCA and this agreement also that I think we struck with the ACTU is to get 1.2 million tech jobs by 2030. We need 650,000 more people to do that over the next 8 years. We can't do that in Australia. It's not possible. Even if we could, who's going to manage them? Who's going to supervise them? Who's going to create a great experience for them so that they not only come to tech, stay in high-skilled, high-paid, secure jobs, but stay there, that they continue to be in that. And that's why I think we need people who are going to come and do that. Technology in Australia is a growing but nascent sector. And so we need to find people, I think, who have that experience from other parts of the world, bring them here, make Australia the place for them to be, help them take in all of these people who are getting reskilled, getting retrained, coming into tech jobs, and actually enable them to keep growing and building that next level.